Hello, welcome to Voices in the Wilderness. I am the Most Reverend Dr. Lorraine Bouffard, Bishop of the Diocese of Connecticut for the American Ecumenical Church. I do not have a guest tonight. Tonight I am going to be doing my role of teacher. That is one of the things I do as the bishop. And I'd like to talk to you about something I just saw recently. It was called Religious, a documentary by Bill Maher. And that word was a clever amalgamation of two words, religion and ridiculous. Now, Maher's goal was to question some religious beliefs, basic, mostly Christian beliefs, such as the virgin birth, miracles, the issue of homosexuality. The only problem, and probably where the ridiculous part came in, was that the people that he mostly used to question were fundamentalists. And you can't carry on a dialogue with people who take the Bible literally, because they believe that sacred scripture is God's inerrant word. It embodies the eternal truth. It's not to be questioned, but accepted in faith. And anyone who attempts to deviate from what it says is either from the devil or belongs to a godless society. I have found generally that people who are ministers of fundamentalist or evangelical churches are usually unfamiliar with how sacred scripture has been written and how it's to be understood. They don't understand the problems of the times and when it was written and the different styles of literature. When you don't understand these things, you have a very difficult time trying to explain or reconcile things that can't be reconciled. I'll give you an example. In the book of Genesis, did you know that there are two stories of creation? That there are two stories of the way Eve was created? That there are two stories of the great flood? Which one is correct? Well, what you have to understand is that for 1,000 years of the Jewish people's history, they had two oral traditions, and both of those traditions were handed down by word of mouth. They were not put into written form until about the year 1000, during the reign of the monarchs, such as David, Solomon, and the kings of Judah and Israel. They decided to record both of the traditions so there wouldn't be any problem. One tradition is called the priestly tradition and the other is called the Elohist. How do you reconcile things like slavery? You know, 200 years ago, there was a terrible controversy in this country between people who rejected slavery as morally wrong and those who believed that black people were not fully human and they were only fit for manual labor. Therefore, it was morally acceptable to hold them in bondage. And that was acceptable in the ancient biblical times. Would a church dare to uphold that belief today and say that that was a truth that should never change? How about the holding of concubines? Solomon had 1,000. Would members of a church be allowed to do that? How about giving up one's daughters to be raped by an unruly crowd so as not to have the guest thrown out to them? These are all things that are in the Bible. But does it make it right? In the last quarter of a century. Many conservative traditional churches have been greatly challenged by the issue of homosexuality. Here again, the Bible is used to defend their position, which comes from Leviticus 18. A man shall not lie with a man as with a woman. It is an abomination. How do you get to use that and say that's enforced, should be enforced, when the other thou shalt not beliefs, such as touching semen, having intercourse during menstruation, naming the sexual organs, withdrawing the penis before ejaculation, or being nude, to name just a few, how do you ignore those? Well, the thing is that when you make the Bible the final arbiter of your faith, you are not worshiping the infinite mystery of God who continues to be revealed throughout time. You are worshiping the Bible. The Bible cannot be used as a book of moral prescription and truth for all times and for all cultures, because it fails to be relevant to our daily lives, and in reality has no knowledge of what we know today. For example, in ancient times, they did not know that the earth was round and that the earth revolved around the sun and not the opposite. It's been unfortunate that the Bible has been used to perpetuate wars, has been used as an excuse for all kinds of violence, injustice, and hatred. Now, the argument for homosexuality, or one of the other arguments for homosexuality, along with that it's prohibited in the Bible, is used by the Roman Catholic Church to say that it is against nature. It's against the natural law. This is a blatant falsehood, my friends. Homosexual behavior has been identified in many species in nature, including higher mammals. National and international mental health associations, such as the American Psychiatric Association, have declared that homosexuality is a variation of sexuality, and it's present in a significant percentage of men and women, and that it is neither a mental disorder nor a deviation, nor a chosen lifestyle. In the last 25 years, the Roman Catholic Church has worked hand in hand with the religious right to defeat gay and lesbian people from achieving their rights in society. And how bizarre is it that a large percentage of their clergy are gay, and many of them are in relationships. It has perpetuated a most grievous injustice by using this as a smokescreen for the destructive behavior of priests who are really sick people and who have committed sexual acts against children. How is that in comparison to two people who love one another, are adults, and wish to be in a faithful relationship? How dare that